I was just having dinner with her and I was getting jewelry for you from the jeweler. I was going to give it to you on Thursday, but you ruined it. You ruined the surprise. Why do you do this? Why don't you trust me? He said some really nasty, horrible things, but it was back to back and 10 messages in a row. Now, this is also integral to the story. Please keep this in mind. So 10 messages in a row. 10:48, there's the footage of her leaving. It is now 11:20, and Rabia Amin is entering the Jiah flat. The doors were shut. The lights were on. She was calling out to Jiah. Jiah, no answer. She called out to Jiah in her own room, Jiah's room, the bathroom, and she finally walked in towards the guest room. Now, Jiah's room is connected to a guest room that has a sliding door. And through that sliding door is her sister's room. So when her sisters visit, they stay in that room. It's a really small room. There's 2 twin-size beds and a table. Like, you can barely fit anything in there. When Rabia Amin slides the door, she sees her daughter, 25-year-old Jiah Khan, hanging from the ceiling fan with a dupatta. Now, she absolutely goes into shock. She's screaming at this point. She grabs on to Jiah's ankle with her right hand, and with her left hand, she calls emergency services and the doctor. She can tell that Jiah is still warm. Her friends are on the way. They actually get there before the emergency services or the doctor. And weirdly enough, Suraj Pancholi's father, Aditya Pancholi, is shown lurking around the outside of the apartment. CBI is now in the room where Jiah has passed. Shockingly enough, there are no fingerprints. The CBI did not find any fingerprints, not on the light switch that had been turned on, not on the open window. Now, this open window is also really important. It's the open window in the guest room where the CCTV camera cannot be seen. There's no CCTV camera in that open window because that's what leads to the outside of the street. So there's no CCTV camera there. And that window was wide open. Wide open. So anyone could have come in at that point, staged a crime, and left through the window. Now, there were fingerprints, completely clean. The light switch, completely clean. There were no fingerprints of Jiah Khan. There were no fingerprints of Rabia Amin, the friends, nobody, CBI. There was small droplets of blood splatter on the bed, and the CBI didn't take it as evidence. There was multiple evidence in the room. The open window, blood splatters, little blood splatter on the bed. The CBI did not take this as evidence. They did not check the tissue under the fingernails of Jiah Khan. They didn't even look for the blue tracksuit that Jiah Khan was wearing in the CCTV footage. Jiah Khan is wearing a completely different outfit. Now, CBI rules out that it is not a murder in 2 hours. No foul play, because Suraj Pancholi had an alibi. He was at a hotel 30 minutes outside of where Jiah was, but he was still in Jiah's city. But it was ruled out because on CCTV camera, you could see that Suraj Pancholi was, in fact, at a hotel. Rightfully so, the family is extremely upset by this, that in 2 hours they ruled out foul play. Rabia Amin cannot accept this. She says that this does not seem like my daughter. My daughter would never do this. Why would my daughter do this on her sister Kavita's 21st birthday? At 12:30, the 2 sisters were supposed to come back to the apartment. Why would Jiah change her clothes from that track jumpsuit, blue track jumpsuit, to another outfit and her life? Also, she was close enough to the bed that she could actually touch her feet to the ground. It sounds like this is foul play, that she was tied up and they made it look like it was a suicide. Now, CBI has ruled it out. 3 days have passed. The family is devastated. They're so upset. They're so heartbroken. Kavita is missing her sister. She's looking for a poem that her sister used to read to her when she was younger. She's trying to find that poem so she can feel closer to Jiah. What she actually finds is a 6-page diary where Jiah is talking about the abuse that was inflicted upon her by Suraj Pancholi. She talks about her terminated pregnancy. She talks about how, and guys, this is dark, by the way. I am just warning you right now. This is extremely dark. It's extremely dark. Jiah Khan was expecting Suraj Pancholi's child. He didn't want her to have a baby, so he tried to abort the baby. Now, there was still a bit of tissue matter left, and fetus left in her body. Now, the OBGYN told Suraj Pancholi and had been speaking to Suraj Pancholi for 3 days, telling him that if you do not bring Jiah Khan to the hospital, she could bleed out and die. Suraj Pancholi did not care. He asked his house help to cut out the fetus from Jiah. She was screaming and shouting, and Suraj Pancholi did not care. Suraj Pancholi was also cheating on her left, right, and center. He was drinking all the time, he was partying all the time. She just wanted Suraj to care about her and to be a family. But Suraj took all of that away from her. This diary was published. And after this diary was published, CBI was also interested in what was happening. And Suraj Pancholi was charged with Section 302, which is the charge of abetment, like coercing somebody to commit suicide. The things that he did to her and said to her led Jiah to want to end her life. So Suraj Pancholi was charged with this crime. And after being charged with this crime, Rabia wanted to get all the justice she could for her daughter. Because CBI had ruled out murder, she hired 4 to 5 medical examiners to look over Jiah's autopsy results. They found that manual strangulation could not be ruled out. Now, the dupatta did not match the ligature marks. Please keep that in mind. The dupatta, which is a scarf, it's a light scarf, did not match the ligature marks. The medical examiners found that the ligature marks did not match the dupatta, that there were multiple bruises. There was a bruise under her chin. It was a dark bruise, and that bruise could only come from impact, or if somebody had cupped the mouth.